Welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Winter Gathering, week number 11. Look at this beautiful picture. I said to AI, give me a Jubilee picture, but somebody who's breaking the chains. And look at this lady with chains and bringing out all Mother Nature. Isn't that beautiful? Everybody's dancing and singing. That's what we're going to, the Jubilee. So the question for today was, how do you define the word freedom? And we had an awesome discussion, and I'll put the comments in the when I edit the video. For those of you watching today, you want to focus on the word and meaning of Jubilee. We will show you that both the stars and on the land, a Jubilee, forgiveness of debt, is happening. So this is happening both spiritually in the stars and physically in your mortgages, loans, and debts being forgiven. Glad you could join us today. So what's happening in the sky? We talked about this last week, but I do want to just quickly, briefly go over it to show you this walk that's happened of these important alignments that leads to this bull, okay? The bull in the China shop, stock market. So on March the 22nd, in 2 days from now, Neptune, Hygeia, that's why people are feeling a lot of cleanses right now, because Hygeia is the goddess of cleanses, right? Your whole Kundalini, all of your chakras. Neptune lights that energy up big time, and it wants to make your wings grow. So make sure you give it absolute gratitude. So that's happening. And then on the 26th, the scribe, Mercury, Akashic Records, this guy right here, Mama, your mother, your divine self is meeting with Mercury and saying, how's your past been? So she's meeting. All right. Then on the 2nd of April, Mercury goes retrograde. Ooh, we know Mercury goes retrograde. Some really cool stuff happens, right? And then you meet with your wings. So it's all about your wings right now, because we're walking up to meet Mama on the 14th. And that's also with the North Node, the head of the snake. You can see the cobra represents the snake. The cobra, the North and South Node, is that which eclipses the sun. So this is what eclipses. So the whole eclipse process is about you and your wings. And how do you get your wings? Forgiveness, love, heart-centered. Then on the 8th, Mercury meets again with the mother on the back in retrograde before the 11th, where you meet with Mercury. Jupiter, which is law, everything we're talking about, law in the law firms and lawyers and judges and courtrooms and banks, Jupiter manages that. It's meeting with the people that hold up the world of others. That's why you got all these pissed off grandma and all these other groups out there that are going in, holding up other people's world, because they're bowling over the untruths. But just remember, these are our karmic waves that are going to be squashed. So we have to stay with an open heart. That's all happened on the 11th of April. And jumping back to the 8th, of course, when Mercury meets again with the mother, that's on the eclipse. So the eclipse happens on the 8th. At the same time, Mercury is back meeting with the mother, the divine love. This is the story of Santa Claus. This is a story of if you're naughty or nice. I got a list, checking it twice. This is the story. So it's your waters that's being checked. So these energies that go through, if it feels something that's not loving, it's going to want to cleanse it. So give it gratitude. That's the bottom line. So then on the 14th, you meet at the Station of the Cross with the mother. The mother's got your report card. And for most of you, she's going to say, all of us in this group, and many out there, she's going to say, good job. We're giving you your wings. And your wings means you're going to be able to manifest whatever you want with your inheritance. The as below Jubilee, you'll be able to help others. So that should be on your task. On May the 1st, Jupiter moves into Taurus. If you look in front of the stock exchange, you see a bull and a bear. Well, we predicted the stock market dropping when Juno in previous years went into Taurus. So this is now Jupiter going into Taurus. And then on June 30th, so La moves into Taurus, going to be supporting all the energies of these little old ladies. And many people all around the world, the Native American Indians are doing it. They're all coming together as one and going to talk very nicely with the municipalities that they need to stop what they're doing, that they don't own anything. So Uranus is the one that holds up other people's worlds. Uranus is going to go back and forth across that Aries Taurus for a year and a half. So the Jubilee is going to clean up. So you can expect within a year and a half, everything's going to be beautiful. Watch the rocky roads. All right. Let's talk about that comet. Everybody's talking about the devil comet, right? So you just put in the word comet. Look at the top stories. The devil comet to be visible during the total solar eclipse. Devil comet satellite, devil comet. Why are they calling it devil? It's just an energy, and it's totally related to this phoenix and this eclipse. So it's called the 12P Pons Brook. So this must be the people that discovered it. It's got, look, it's not new. Brooks is a periodic comet with an orbital period of 71 years. Okay, so it goes round and round. So I'm going to show you a little animation here. Here it is right here. Okay, Pons Brook. And I'm going to, let me just scroll through this way. So you can see that Pons Brook here, okay, is moving. Here's the eclipse happening right there on the 8th, right? And it's almost there on the ecliptic. And then as the moon approaches it, it then crosses the ecliptic. So it's all energy. This is the type of energy that they will say, well, that's an electron. No, so this is all energy. It's just a line. This energy is like a sparkler, a resistant, a static charge when you touch the ground with your finger or a light switch and you see a spark. So this is all that's just happening in the sky. So it's a beautiful energy that is totally related to what's happening in the sky. But of course, people are going to sell you stuff, right? They look at NBC News, Forbes, ABC. Why? They need the clicks to make money. Usury. All right. So part of the Jubilee is what's termed in the Bible as Exodus. Are we not seeing all kinds of immigration? It's from the stars. And someone is capitalizing it with this dishonor that's in the place, signing them up for mortgages. That's all they're looking for. That process has to stop now. So people all over the world are exiting. This is Exodus. People will gather which have the same wills. People will gather with the same truths or with the untruths. So choose love and stay heart-centered. And then you'll always be fine because you are the one that controls your world. Exodus is the temple of Komombo. The temple of Komombo reflects the Israelites' journey from slavery to freedom. It's the walk of freedom. Here's the Komombo temple. And this here is the Avenue of Sphinxes. You coming up the aisle to get your wings. But this is where Exodus comes from. The stories in Exodus are written on the walls here. So that's where the Bible got the stories from, because it's a cycle. It's a cycle in the stars. But don't mistake that you are the only one that can free yourself in your conscious mind with your thoughts. So keep them loving and ask for forgiveness. This is the only ritual you should be practicing, is asking for forgiveness and love. The physical rituals are not going to cut it. And that's where a lot of the past people were doing physical rituals, thinking that that would free them. It's not. It all happens in the mind, the conscious mind, because the conscious mind will hold lies, untruths, and truths. This is what was meant with Plato's cave. Here's the bondage. We're in the bondage and we're watching ourselves being played by the puppeteer, which is our past lives, and the energy, the flames coming and animating us based on our past lives. I get that in a very quick way. It's obviously much more spiritual than that, but that gives you the analogy of it. So this is the age of Aquarius. It's written on the Egyptian walls. You can see John the Baptist pouring the waters on those that are in bondage. Freedom. Love comes back now. So we have love surrounding us. We're all being freed of this bondage. But you got to know, don't be the prodigal son and be the materialistic one when you get your inheritance, because everybody will get their inheritance. Okay, so here is what's the last. This line down below is further up in my mortgage agreement, which tells you who you and your mean the borrower, right? The co-borrower and guarantor, if any, but they're showing you that there's three. And we, the bank, our and us means the bank. So when you go and read this last paragraph, this is really important. Try to follow me. You can read it again. The undersigned borrowers, so they call you borrower, warrant that all representations, in other words, all the statements that are made by me and us, the bank. So you got to read it that way, because you think me and us would mean, oh, me and whoever else is signing this with me. Well, no, it's you and the bank. They're warranting that everything they're giving you is connected with my and our, that's the bank, mortgage application, and true and accurate. We, the bank, fully understand that any misrepresentations and any stuff that's not real in there of fact contained in our mortgage application or other documents entitles you, where it comes, entitles you to decline to advance a portion or all of the loan proceeds. Forget about that portion. It's this or that makes the most powerful. Entitles you to demand immediate repayment of all money secured by the mortgage. There's many things wrong with the mortgage. They didn't tell you what they were really doing. They make multiple copies of that and send it in. In Canada, they're allowed to make multiple copies up to 20 times. So if you get a $100,000 mortgage, they put $2 million in their assets and they're not telling you. And they're using your inheritance to make a line of credit against. So it's happening on the ground, folks. This is the truth. They've been dishonest. They've been giving misrepresentations, and they're even telling you that you get to have your money back as soon as you figure it out. Because they have to do it this way, or else they'd be illegal. So the contract is null and void, and we get to have all our money back. So I'm not sure if you've seen the pissed off grandma from out West Canada. She's on Rumble. Look up We the People Constitutional Conventions. Because everywhere around the world, people are getting together and they're walking into the mayor's office, starting with the small towns because they live next door to them, and saying, what are you doing? What's all this banking fraud going on? You got to stop now. Most of them aren't aware, so be heart-centered. She doesn't look heart-centered, but that's the way they feel, so don't feel this way. You got to be heart-centered, knowing that most of these people don't know, and if they do, then it becomes their karma, and they have to release once they know you know. So do your part. Find a group and support them. At a minimum, just parrot the truth. There are some out there that are built to trample like the bull in a china shop, like we showed you. And it's happening. But we got to be heart-centered, folks. You really, really, really do. All right. In the meantime, while we're doing all this, being heart-centered, because going up and doing a random act of kindness to tell a police officer, a court judge, anyone that's sitting there that's working for the government, the act of kindness is to share the truth with them in a loving way. So I'm going to ask for random acts of kindness from you. You don't have to do it based on this. It could be anything. Anything. Because Unity asks for us to do an outreach project. So I'm recommending random act of kindness, and you can do that anywhere at any time. You don't have to tell us what you did, but if you do want to share in our messenger group on YouTube, please do. I want to share with you our sister Marg from Unity Kitchener shared a story of her paying for the truck behind her at Timmy's, a random act of kindness. She then seen that truck went to go pay at the window. She yelled out, "Hey, I already paid." The driver of the truck said, "I'm paying for the car behind me." How beautiful is that, eh? Please do share your random act of kindness if you can. So let's make it catchy, because that's what the world's doing. This is part of the Jubilee. The freedom comes when we're heart-centered, when we're full of love. That's what we need to do. And that's all we have for today.